People are talking about the recent Are You Sure episode and apparently JK trying to hide his tattoo. People are mass unfollowing JK and leaving full statements, and I want to get into all of that, as well as a recent live stream and all that stuff that has come out from the stream. But before we get into today's video, there's a new membership site called Stacked. This is a membership site where you'll have access to exclusive content about this channel. You'll be able to interact with me via private chats, access to potentially me live streaming if you guys want to see that, as well as behind the scenes content on how I create these videos, questions and answers about all this, rants I cannot post here, as well as discovering new creators on the platform that also make similar content to me. I'll still be posting everywhere else. This will just be an additional platform for you guys to interact with me if you're interested. So if you would like to see any of that, please check it out. I'll leave a link on screen as well as in the description. There was a recent live stream where it showed all of the BTS members together, and overall I thought this was going to be something that people were going to be very excited about. But it seemed as if people were more so upset. There were several reasons, as a lot of people definitely felt like there were a lot of awkwardness and tension due to a lot of the craziness that's been happening. There was one part of the stream where RM asked if there was anything new that was happening, and he specifically mentioned that he had just gotten his license, but wanted to know if anyone else had anything new, and pretty much everyone said no. And JK said no, which of course surprised everyone. Everyone seemingly was like, are you sure you have nothing to tell us? Now, there's not just issues with JK and whatever his controversy is right now, but there's issues with Suga and his DUI, which was never addressed as a group publicly. There's been dating rumors with Jimin. There's been so much going on with each of the individual members that it's quite obvious that there's going to be a little bit of tension. At least that's what people are saying. And specifically, they're saying that there's tension between each other because they all don't like each other anymore. Specifically saying things like the tension is extremely tense because there are things that they want to say that they're not saying. And I have to say this, that you don't abandon people who have been there with you for a long time. I want to say that I've worked with some really big influencers and some like C-list celebrities, and if you knew what happened behind the scenes, you would think or know that it's not all innocent and great. There are situations in which people that I've worked with have done things that they would not necessarily be proud of, and obviously would look really bad if it were to come out publicly. Now, a lot of those people ended up being close friends to the point where I would go to their wedding or go to their baby shower or whatever. Now, am I to get rid of them completely if they were to do something bad? Like, it wasn't anything that like would get them in jail, but it wasn't something that they necessarily would be proud to admit that they did. Things like talking about drinking while under the influence, or petty stuff like that, or just doing things that they maybe shouldn't be doing, taking specific drugs, whatever, right? Now, in my heart, I would know that they are still good people, but obviously to the public, it would not seem that way. But you just don't abandon people that are like that because they just did something like that. So do I believe the members are gearing up to leave each other or hate each other so much now because of public controversy? I absolutely do not think so. I don't believe that this is something that's going to affect their relationships with each other. What I do think could be a culprit, and why this stream perhaps seemed a little bit more awkward to some people, is simply the fact that the boys might not know how to interact with the community anymore. There's obviously the natural thing that makes it difficult where they've been gone for such a long time and maybe forgot how to live stream, but it's more than that, because it seems like no matter what they say or no matter what they do, it gets twisted and changed. So they're left not really wanting to say much because they're scared of what will be taken out of context. And they're scared of how the community has changed in the way that the community sees them now. People are talking about how it seems like they're doing more OT7 streams lately, and the reason could be to try to figure out the rhythm of doing that again. That makes this all make sense, and a lot more sense than saying that they all hate each other and they're forcing themselves to be with each other. There are now a lot of people who have been writing essays and saying a bunch of things about how they're so disappointed in JK. Specifically, there were people saying that he's losing a lot of followers after the recent live stream. And that recent live stream being a stream where he did not address the dating rumors at all. And I want to break down this particular statement that I saw online that talked about how they did not see BTS in the same way anymore, and they do not love the group the same way that they maybe previously did. This person wrote a specific message to JK directly saying that they will probably never love another person the same way that they loved JK. This has got to not be true. Like, I'm not saying that this person is actively lying. I'm saying that they cannot actually be in love with JK. The love that they experienced was quite obviously not that. They did not joke JK at all. You can like a celebrity a lot. You can have passion for a celebrity. You can admire the celebrity. You can idolize them. You cannot love them. This is not the same thing as you loving your child or loving your parents. You do not know JK at all. This person was saying that JK has essentially destroyed the trust that they had with BTS, saying that JK not addressing the dating rumor is a sign of him quite literally betraying that trust. And I have to disagree with this entirely, because this whole thing is a rumor and that the community and something the community made up. Why on earth would he address a rumor that was made up by these people? That does not seem like that's his problem. But these people obviously want it to be his problem. They woke up and they had a bad dream that JK did something awful, and then they demand that he answer for it. That's what it feels like to me. The phrase that they used, which was JK undeniably created the situation himself, that's what they said. He undeniably created this situation himself. And I want to stress that they used the word undeniably as well as created it himself. Not only is it easily deniable, he did not create the situation himself. This person so clearly made up a narrative in their own head that they believe to the max. But instead of giving the person the benefit of the doubt that you claim to love, maybe a way to defend themselves, this person is just automatically assuming the worst. A very easy solution could just simply be like, we got it wrong. It's not what we think it is. You know, giving him the benefit of the doubt. But instead of doing that, this person is now giving an essay about how JK has broken their trust. This is parasocial relationship to the absolute max. Like, I've never seen such a parasocial relationship with this many people. It is literally almost every day that we see these types of posts going viral. We're not talking about one or two people that make the news, and it's just insane what they've said. We're talking about literally almost every day people coming out writing essays talking about how JK has disappointed them for what? Dating? People keep saying that it's not about dating, it's about breaking trust. No, it's literally about dating, because where was the quote breaking the trust when JK didn't automatically show his tattoos the moment he got them? Where is the breaking the trust when he decides not to answer questions about his next album or talk about his music before it's released yet? Where was the breaking the trust when those things happen? There wasn't, because that simply wasn't something that people were super upset about. Now it's something that people are upset about. They demand that he must speak about it because it's ruining the trust. You know, it's because they wanted to date JK and they want him to address it. And they think that him not saying anything means that he's dating someone else, which breaks the trust. But it's not trust. It's just breaking this parasocial relationship. That's what they're so upset about. I swear when these people hit post, they should automatically just be locked up in a mental facility. Like, genuinely, are these people okay? How are they so far past delusional where they're writing things like this? I don't understand how it even gets to this point. People are also bringing up the fact that JK was recently seen in the new Are You Sure episode wearing half shirt. Now, it was a full shirt, button-down pajama set, but he only had one arm in, and that was the arm in which he did not have a tattoo. So he was just showing the tattoo fully. It would be one thing if he hid the arm that had the tattoo, but people were saying, what was the point of hiding the one that doesn't have a tattoo? And people believe that that arm was the one that had the couple's tattoo with Winter, so they believe that that was the point. That's what he was trying to hide. Now, this all happened before the rumor came out or reached to the point where it did now. Like, JK having a tattoo would have happened, I believe, before Winter even got it. If it's even the same, or maybe it would have happened before people noticed it, so it wouldn't have been a conscious decision in JK's mind to cover it up. Some people had debunked this very quickly to say that JK was seen in other shots with some sort of bandage or transparent covering with the arm, with the tattoo. So some people believe that he was either refreshing his tattoo and needed to not touch his clothes and needed to air it out, or it was an injury that occurred because he had just come out of the military around the time that this was being filmed. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, what is the other reason? Why would he have a bandage and also have his arm out, right? So that makes perfect sense to me. And of course, this goes to show you we really don't know what goes on with the boys entirely. And what we're really seeing is just this really short excerpt of their life, and we're making decisions on them based on that. Does JK or any of the BTS member have a moral obligation to show and talk about the bandage in the show? He definitely does not. And whatever the situation is with the bandage, it doesn't need a spotlight in the show. Like, the whole premise of the show, the plot, might not be to talk about that. They might have a whole story lined up that they likely wanted to do, and it might not have been to include sitting there talking about something like that. Also, if it was something from the military, and that was the reason why he had a bandage and all that stuff, he definitely wouldn't want to talk about it, because then it would get a little bit more political. And yeah, typically you would want to avoid that, right? For a feel-good show, maybe you don't want to talk about the military, because that could open up a whole can of worms and wounds and get the community and the people riled up. So overall, just avoiding that conversation in general would be smart, and I think he did that. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.